Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about my new cheapest way to create a good cinema screen for your home cinema setup. Behind me on the floor, you see a Stor curtain, which I bought earlier this week. It is around $20-25 depending on your region or your country and the shipping cost, whatever that is. But it's around $20-25. And it's a proper curtain. So it's going to be flat without any wrinkles. And it's going to be movable, like you roll it up and roll it down like a professional projection screen. And it's going to be white as usual. We're going to probably lose some of the light at the back of it because it's not going to be fully reflective like the projector screen, but we have advantages. Let me show you what the setup will look like. But before I do, let me just clearly show you the room again. If you haven't watched my earlier videos, this is my 3-meter length professional screen, and behind it 65-inch TV, soundbar, and 4K Optoma UHD 35. So let me just turn around here. This is 3-meter length and 300 centimeters. This is 230 centimeters, and this is 2 meters of length, 2.3 meters of width. And here's my regular curtains behind the balcony here. Let me just show you how the setup will look like. Normally, we have 3 layers of curtains in this home. In this setup, these are phones, called phones in my country, Turkey. So these are mostly backdrops. They're just for show off. You can also use them for blocking the light fully when you're watching movies in the daylight. But other than that, most of the time, people don't use these. Instead of that, this is the sun blocker, and this is the transparent one for probably daytime usage. And if you open up the light of your house, you probably open these, close these, but we have 3 layers. Let me just show you how it is. First layer is for sun blocker, second layer is for transparent, and the third layer is for, as you can see, backdrop itself. Since we are not going to be using the backdrop in fully set up, like normally we don't close them, so these rails are actually not being used for a long time, and it's not going to be used at all. So let's get back and see this. This is my new setup, and it came with the tube. Like I said, this was $20-25. I think it's quite cheap, and it's manual. There is nothing to be considering electric connection, and it's going to be easy, and it's quite light. Let me just show you how we are going to install it. The metal ones, if you don't have any rails for your curtains, metal ones are for the ceiling or the wall. And since it is too light, as you can see, I can just slap it with my hand and it's going to be light up. So this is an easy thing to carry. Like probably 2 holes are enough. But if you go for clear setup, because you're going to be pulling this to open it up and close it down, so this needs probably, I think, 3 of them. And these plastic ones instead of metal ones, as you can see, let me just show you close up, they have system goes into the rails, so you just stick them in and turn them around 90 degrees and you have your hanger. So I will be probably using 3, at most 4 to clear setup of this to my rails, and we will test this Stor or roll up roll down curtain. Let me just behind the reason of this tell you the reason of this, because we're going to be using it with 2 layers on, especially in this case 3 layers on, because the sun blocker will be diffusing our light. Because since this is a regular Stor curtain, it will probably show some of the visuals that we send it to with our projector at the back of it. And to prevent it to our neighbors to see what we watch all the time, the second layer will protect us from being seen from other people or outside of the house. I think it's an important issue. I just want to make it clear. But if you have something like darker curtains, and if you go buy two of these, like one for blocking the sun or light completely, like black or darker gray, and the second one is for just preventing the light comes in as a white like this, and you can quite get away with, let's just say $40 instead of professional setup like this, and it is around and $150 $200 range depending on the reflection of the gain level. And before the appliance of this idea, I hope you find it useful at the end of the video. This is the start of the video. I don't know the result yet, and I'm hoping it's going to be way better than a lot of people imagined. Let's get started and install it and project something to it and compare it with the regular professional screen here. Installation finished, and I think it looks gorgeous. You don't see anything, right? That's the main point of it. You're not going to be losing any space from your regular room, and inside that room you can use one side of the wall for your TV and the other definitely size that you can't change really, the window side for your projection. And here we achieved it and we hide it. As you can see, this is the handle that I'm going to be rolling up and down. And let's just try it, because advantage of this is we haven't made any holes to the wall or ceiling. Of course, if you need to do that, if you don't have rails for your regular curtains, you need to have at least 3 holes for this size of screen. This is a 105-inch kind of setup, and you definitely have at least 3 holders, but we put 4 holders since it's plastic and it's easy to use. And I did already have the rail system here, so I didn't put anything extra for myself. I just put them in and turned them around, so I got 4 hangers here, and it is quite strong. Let's just roll it down, and let me just tell you from the beginning of this video, it impressed me a lot, and it's quite straight, and it is 230 centimeter and 3 meters of length. Let's just from up to bottom, and 230 centimeters wide, which is 105-inch-ish size. The irregularity of the screen, as you see here from the lights reflections, because of the back side curtains, as you can see, if I move them around, you see, because this is not made for projection screen, this is just curtain. But if we are going to be projecting from this side, these will not affect it, because reflections from the backdrop probably won't affect. If it does, you can just take these away and just hide it somewhere around, and you can just use the sun blocker and this curtain, and you'll definitely have a flatter surface. We will try and see it with the professional projector screen and just a regular roll down or Stor curtain with the same projector, how much light we lost, and is it worth $25 with this setup? Let's just try and see how it looks. In this part of the video, this is my first impression, and I think, like we saw earlier, the curtains at the back, the transparent ones, somehow just affects how it looks as usual. So it's not the perfect choice, that you have to take it on the side to make it clear that there is no reflection behind these curtains, because I think it just changed a lot. But since my curtains are planned on only one side, this is a longer, just make it look good. Ladies decide most of the time, or the look of the things. Let's just take these things aside. As you can see, now I put it on the side. We don't see the reflections because my sun curtains at the back of it, like we have 20 centimeters of space between 2 items. And one other thing that you don't see too much of a contrast here Right now, my Philips Hue setup is quite open, and after this part of this video, I will close all the lights and shoot it from an angle, both to show this screen and the professional screen together, just rotating the projector. Don't get me wrong, right now the corners are not fully adjusted, so it's not perfectly fit, but it's around 100-inch-ish size. So I want to turn the screen, turn the projector to the other screen and check it out too, and then my final conclusions. Let's just start from I'm going to be walking in front of it, our first screen, our new $25 Stor curtain. And I will just turn it into the projection screen that I have. But problem is here that the projector cable is not the same length, so I won't be having the same distance. It's not going to be scientific, but let me just get as much as away from it as possible. I will just turn it around and show it to you. This is not going to be scientific like I told you because the distance is not the same. Let me just hang the cable, and it's probably getting closer, and sorry about the, yes, timing. The gain level, I think the gain level is, right now the distance is quite similar one to another, and the gain level is higher in this one. Let me just turn it on the right quickly. Probably we are losing 20, 25%, maybe even 30% of contrast here. But considering this is $150 and this is $25 and it's hiding and nobody sees this, but you also see this, and the sharpness is not too much of a difference here. We have light loss. That is normal because this is not the thickest and the most perfectly thick, like a fully light canceling curtain. And you can go expensive than this one. And I will be shooting another part. I will be shooting from the back of the sun curtains and see what our neighbors see. And then at the end of the video, I will add my conclusions and finish this video. So right now I am at the back of the screen, and if I just take the sun curtain, let me just take it, people will see what we watch because the transparency is, like you probably guessed earlier in the video, it is not fully reflective on one surface, and the backside is like a black for professional projection. But when we close these, the second curtain, you don't see a thing. Like, let me just put it in half and you see what it's like. So here's no visual to the neighbors. Here's the visual to the neighbors. So if you decide to go this way and watch family videos like you just shot with your smartphone, I probably recommend this setup. People will see some sort of colors and they are not offended by the screen, and you'll be protected for your privacy. That's the best setup that you can create with this type of setup. And I highly recommend, if you can purchase a little bit of money, more expensive, more thickened curtain other than this. And also you can use this like a back projector, like you're projecting from some place and watching from the behind the screen. Always as you can see, the visuals will be reversed, but most of the projectors have reversed menus, so you can change it later on with the flipped vertical or horizontal. You can get away with it, and you can just create a back reflection surface, like old times projection TV kind of setup. And here is this part quite over. We are coming at the end of the video. Here is my conclusion. I wasn't expecting this quality. Really, for 25, 30-ish dollar range of small money, I wasn't expecting this. And definitely I wasn't thinking that this will be this easy to install, and definitely could be packed up and go wherever you want. Like you can take this and put it into a wagon or something, and then take it to your family members or your vacation. If you like outside, you can put it in probably up top of two tripods from our studio, like small light fixtures, and you can easily put it on two stands. And it's all, of course, depending on your size, but this is 100 105-inch size, and it's quite big size if you want to watch outside. The advantages of this setup is the cost, $25 $30 depending on your country, and the material is also blocks the light, so you can use it as regular curtain. One other advantage is it's quite light and you can carry it all around. And another advantage is you can hide it, as you can see, behind the ceiling if you have some sort of a similar ceiling setup, and behind the regular curtains with the rails that you have if you have something like this. And so it will be hide, not like this screen. I can't hide it anywhere because it's having a big case all over it, and it's heavier. So I need to put big holes to the wall or the ceiling. So it's going to be difficult to install. You need two men to install this. One person is enough for this. So it's easier to install as a person, and it's less expensive to install because if it's not motorized, my system is motorized, as I've shown you earlier in my videos. If you haven't watched them, you can watch them. So I need to put electricity from here to there, behind the ceiling. So uh, we have second ceiling here. So I need to install electric cables. It was tough. It took 1 hour to put the cables from here to here. And then we installed it to a wall with extensions, and we drew a big holes to the walls. And since it's heavy, it was difficult to hang it with two guys. If you have three-person, it will be better. So it makes it very hard to install comparing to this one. And I believe you can replace it easier. You can change the color if you have some sort of a color casting issue. You can change the color for the gray or similar. Know what you think about this setup, and if you have any recommendations for this type of curtains, like roll up and roll down curtains or store curtains, let me know which material is for best reflections. Before this is because this is, as you can see, matte white, and it's not too thick. It's not fully blocking the light of the sun. And it's also at the back. You probably seen the video earlier, the footage that I shown you. It can be watched from the back side of it. So it can be used as a back reflective projection TVs, like the old style Sony big TVs. They were using similar technology. So I don't recommend it, but if you have flip-flop settings for vertical, so you can use this setup too. Let me know what you think. I think it is kind of perfect for $25 considering my projection screen cost, and it's not hiding. This is perfectly hidden. So this would have been my first choice if I knew this setup or I imagined this earlier, but definitely I have a 4K professional projector. I would be always thinking about professional screens because the gain level is important. This stuff at my back, you see 1-to-1 gain or 1.1 gain. And most of them 1.1 and above, like you can go 1.6, 1.7 even gain levels with white professional projection screen. And also the gain level, the higher you go, you create more contrast, better image quality, better sharpness, but you go also for the price range, you go also higher. So if you have a decent projector, not like this one. This is just a hobby projector with 200 lumens. So this is not the perfect setup to show you, but if I have used my Optoma 4K, you probably won't notice this was just a regular curtain. Let me know what you think, and if you have alternatives, just give me and the comment section below. Just give me your opinions and what you want to see later on this channel. And I've been using a technological device and reviewing products in my country more than 15 years. I'm not Linus, but I want to share what I know, and this is my hobby. And thumbs up and subscription will be great for my channel. And if you have any idea, just let me know how we can improve home cinema setup with affordable prices. Because we all know if you spend huge amount of money, you can create anything you like. But without spending huge amount of money and being smart, what you can do is quite like this. Hope to see you in the next video, home cinema and tech review. Bye.